obviously the keeper when we do get to that map number 3. So I believe Dragons, you know, I said 3-0 at the beginning. I'm kind of switching it up. I'm thinking maybe 3-1, much closer battle with Dragons. But as soon as XSET loses one map, that's when I think they might just kind of turn it on full force.
Yeah, it could be the momentum the Dragons need, though, if they end up taking one. We'll have to see if they're able to close it out, as I believe the players are going to be getting into the matches here shortly. It is going to be capture the flag to start it off. And as a reminder, capture the flag, if it does end up going to overtime in, let's say we get the score of 1-1, it's going to be the first team that captured that flag throughout the whole series, not only the map, throughout the whole series, that is going to win the overtime. If it's 0-0, then it's the team that had the most eliminations. So it's very important to get that first flag capture if you want to have the best odds of taking it home.
Yeah, it almost 100% assures you if you go down 1-0, you need 2 flag caps. Just tying the game isn't going to be enough. Yes, it'll grant you overtime, but it's not going to be the win at the end of the day. And in capture the flag, there are 2 halves. You start off on red team, you start off on blue team, 5 minutes go by, and then you switch sides to make it fair and equal for both of these teams. You play a second half, another 5 minutes of action before the score will settle and figure out who wins. And now the game has started. Takata Ritual with the marksman. He's going to be the player that watches that whole center of the map for XSET.
I'm excited. Marksman on the opposing end is going to be Romero. So who's going to be able to hit those crucial shots is the big question, as you see players now already starting it off strong. Cold, the new change to the XSET roster, is going to get first blood.
Yeah, already you're seeing the elimination side with XSET, but as soon as they push up and instantly get answered back by Dragons, Muzz going down. Edgy does have control over the tunnels, but even he's in a big fight as XSET is figuring out a way to win these battles in the center of the map. That gives XSET, that gives Cold the whole pool side of the map, and you see him pushing up and trying to use it to his advantage.
It's all about map control in this game mode. Those picks are going to grant you more of it, being able to push closer and closer towards your opponent's flags. But as soon as you get eliminated, then the tables are going to turn. Muzz goes down, Cold goes down, and there's an opportunity for Dragons to start pushing forwards.
Yeah, they still need to clean these players of XSET out of their base, though. Otherwise, they're going to have to worry about them. Bubble Shield going down for Edgy. They're just buying time. They're buying so much time. You see Cold getting Elim center of the map. Him and Muzz are finally pushing up. Even with Ritual and Edgy have gone down, what XSET has done is got that map control that we're talking about. They pushed up so far that Dragon still has to worry about these players floating around. They need a full-on squad wipe off of XSET if they want to push up and take control.
Utility coming through. Romero once again looking for that big shot to connect. You got to be careful though, as Rituals is holding a right-hand peek just at the truck close to them. Edgy is going to go down though. Rituals going to get cracked. Muzz going to get cracked as well, as iTroll takes out another. And it looks like the push for Dragons is going to come through.
Yep, he has to be careful though. You can't push up too far by yourself. XSET and the rest of the players know they're there. Cold with another flank in the middle. Ritual is able to push up off of that, and the rest of the members of XSET are starting to gain that confidence. Might be a little too much though. Edgy pushes up, ill-advised by himself, quickly goes down, which gives Dragon an opportunity to answer back as you see them pushing down that long tunnel hallway.
Lua now looking to get an angle onto Cold, takes out one. Ritual though is going to be able to clean it up now. A trade as the momentum from Ritual is going to continue towards the flag, but he is going to get cracked.
Yep, Dragon at least getting into the base right now. This is where you need another couple of eliminations if you wanted it to work. They went in, they pushed up. They got at least one before falling, so all that map control is done and over with. XSET getting a chance here to answer back, but it's not going to be as quick of an answer. Ritual trying to bleed out at the top of that building, but everyone is getting spotted out. Muzz dropped to a little bit of HP. Ritual missing a lot of shield, so XSET needs to figure out a way to let their teamwork do the talking here.
1-1, both eliminations on each side. Muzz is going to go down now. It is 2-1 for Dragon on this push. Cold's been cracked as well. Ritual connects a shot, but it's not enough as Lua gets his 6th elimination.
Yeah, that's why I said this is going to be the best chance for Dragon eSports. Like, capture the flag, Shallop map number 1. You have the most familiarity, but so does XSET. As Ritual finally teaming the tides. It's just an elimination for elimination. Even with Muzz getting tagged up in the middle, he's going to go down. Romero's position is going to be known, but with Ritual and Edgy so far separated, they cannot necessarily make the play to pinpoint their opponent, take them down. So the trades will continue to go in favor of Dragons along with that map control.
Starting off this capture the flag map, XSET was looking like the aggressors, but it looks like the tables might have just turned. But have I spoken too soon? Jacob of XSET picks up 2 eliminations, causing them now to once again play more aggressive.
And this is where I expect XSET to kind of slow things down just a little bit. Figure out a way to get those eliminations, chain them together, get some map control. Romero's going to go down. I troll as well. Opens up a window of opportunity with 2 members of Dragons on respawn. Make it 3, make it 4 as the newest member of XSET, Cold, picking up those double-digit eliminations already, but fresh off the respawn. Romero answers back with a triple, almost gets the quad, but Edgy shuts him down.
Close to a squad wipe. Luckily enough, Edgy was there to save the day. Unfortunately, Lua is going to close it out, and it looks like we'll have another reset here from both rosters, but some insane shots being connected already as Dragon's now going to take out Muzz and continue with their push.
Yeah, right now, this is a huge surprise with the way Dragon is playing against this XSET roster, but it's what I said. You have to hit them hard in the beginning of the map cycle. Build that confidence because XSET will slowly, they will surely climb back into the game. A bunch of eliminations going in favor of XSET. You see the time on the clock, 10 seconds left in the half. No matter what happens, there's not enough time to bring it coast to coast to get that flag capture. So the first half of the eSports World Cup, XSET versus Dragons, will end up tied off.
You can see the Dragons roster have their smiles, feeling happy. As a reminder, if it does end in 0-0, the kind of tiebreaker is eliminations. If it ends 1-1, it's the first person or the first team who captured the flag in the series. So it was 0-0 that match. I'm not sure which roster had more eliminations though, Jacob. They both looked pretty even.
Yeah, it was definitely pretty even. I know Cold was a difference maker for that roster, but this is a little bit frightening as we check out some of the replays here, because this is almost the same thing that happened right before DreamHack. All the hype on the side of XSET. They had everybody thinking they were going to win the event. They didn't even qualify from DreamHack. It was the online qualifiers where XSET was able to get their spot. And XSET, even though they're showing up here, you see 12 eliminations on Cold to start the second half off. It just hasn't been enough, and it's been a huge surprising factor already.
Yeah, I wonder if kind of the game plan's going to switch up throughout the next half of Capture the Flag. If it does come down to eliminations, they have to be careful to not give their opponents free elims just as they go for those pushes. So we'll see if they can keep the control moving forwards.
Edgy trying to take control. Center map. Ritual does have the other side, so even though there's only a few members of XSET, they have to wait for Cold to push up. Edgy's going to go ahead and lead the charge. They're trying to anchor down the right side, but the cross is in. Edgy goes down, but at least Ritual was able to make a play to try to keep the numbers even for XSET, to try to keep the pressure intact. But as soon as they get out of the tunnel, you see them trying to go for rock control. Dragons instantly shut them down with 3 members down and out for XSET.
Keeps on repeating. XSET is able to get that initial push through mid-map, but once they get close to that flag, they have been getting eliminated. Same thing's been happening for Dragon. They have been playing more defensive overall, to be fair, but it's not like they've had as many opportunities to fully push in. But this could be the one as Randu's looking for some shots to connect here. Edgy's gonna get cracked now, forced to drop the shield bubble, but he's gonna go down anyways. It's all up to Rituals now. Huge shot getting connected. 2 HP left onto Randu. He's gonna choose to pop an EMP, and now they can push forwards.
Yeah, the Ritual trying to be a little bit of a distraction. A crash coming in on the side from Cold and Muzz. They were able to at least find 1 elimination on the back line, but Cold goes down. Muzz is there by himself. Muzz is trying to sneak around. I think Dragons knows somebody is still alive, but they might not know exactly where Muzz is at. They turned the corner, and they made sure to check every crevice of that trash can to find Muzz out, get him off their side. That was a great play from Dragons.
Wasn't able to hide. We've kind of seen these sneaky plays evolve and come more into play as these game modes have been continuing to be played out. Lua already with 14 eliminations, but he does get taken out. iTroll now choosing to go for the sneaky strat onto Edgy, but he's going to get caught off guard.
Yeah, see, when it comes to that center map control, pretty even around the board. It's when that team pushes up into their opponent's territory, into that red zone. That's where the defense has been shining strong for both of these rosters, but now XSET has another chance. Muzz able to get one. Ritual chaining back-to-back eliminations for the roster. You see everybody else crashing on this play. Cold gets another one. 3 down and out, but as all that happens, Muzz has gotten taken down. His team teammate falls as well. They're fresh off of the respawn, but XSET's still doing a good job for that moment. Holding pressure, but Romero shuts him down and starting to build that confidence up for Dragons.
Edgy with just 10 HP as he slowly regens back to 100 now, looking to see if he can cover out Cold. Sticky grenade gonna come through. iTroll connecting a good amount of shots onto Cold, though, dropping him down to 3 HP. The push comes through. iTroll goes down, so does Cold. Edgy now looking to see if he can stop the push.
20 eliminations so far for Cold. You're seeing why he was the biggest pickup during that roster mania period and why he was a must-have for the team. Hopefully he can be that driving force as Edgy pushes up. Randu gets taken down. Cold defends the throne, allowing for XSET to finally breathe on their side of the map. The turn back from Cold gets him just weak enough for Ritual to finish him off.
Now Ritual's sneaking on up, going to see if he can connect the shot here. Romero close by, looking to see if Randu can find an angle. As we're back to the center map, both teams kind of back in their spawns.
This is just like a huge surprise. Like I'm saying, you got to give Dragons all the props in the world. 50 seconds left in this half. If it remains 0-0, we're going to go to overtime, which puts the pressure on the team that does not have the eliminations. But XSET trying to make a last-ditch effort. Muzz goes down. Edgy falls as well. Cold and Ritual still alive, and they're pushing further and further towards the back line. The bubble shield is keeping Romero alive and is keeping XSET at bay.
Something about Brazil Fortnite, especially in standard battle royale, is they're known for hitting their shots with snipers, Jacob, and from what I'm seeing, Romero has been absolutely popping off throughout this first match of the day. Can he continue it to finish it off, though? Just 13 seconds are left. Cold pushes up, shots connected onto Romero. Cold gets the elim. iTroll is the last one, but he goes down as well as Cold falls shortly after with 25 eliminations to his name.
Yeah, Cold knew in that situation. Just get these elims, push them ourselves. But Dragons has to get all the credit yet again. The Latin American team that didn't lose a single match in their online qualifiers to get to this point in game number 1 against XSET. Them being the heavy favorites, not only in this matchup, but in the tournament overall. Dragons waking up and surprise again. You said Romero, he was a driving force. And that's something I said. If your marksman player is not hitting shots, you're likely losing. Well, Romero is doing the opposite. He is hitting every shot in the book. You give an opportunity just like that, giving Cold a fresh haircut.
But I'm trying to do my quick maths here, Jacob, my calculations, and if it stays 0-0, we've said it repeatedly, it's going to be the tiebreaker in terms of eliminations. Cold himself has 25 eliminations, so adding on to the rest of his roster, I think they might be slightly leading over what Dragons has right now, so it might be a change of mindset here. You could not get eliminated.
Already starts this off, XSET pushing up all the way on the other side of the map. Edgy in a 1v1. Randu goes down. The rest of the members of XSET are already getting pressured by Dragon. Most of them are falling. Randu, Lua, they're getting both eliminations. They're trying to get that flag out, but a great cut off by Muzz, making sure they do not get that opportunity. But an EMP breaking the shield. Lua is trying to go in. Randu knows they're weak. He was trying to finish them off, but Muzz and Cold, the dynamic duo from XSET, stand strong.
It got a little too close for comfort there, but it looks like we have two players sneaking up to each other as Rituals. iTroll doesn't even know. Free pickings for Rituals. That's one elim now. Able to push up even further. This could be huge for XSET.
Yeah, well, Ritual got one. Edgy got another, and Ritual gets 3 overall, but the respawns are in. XSET knows they need another round of eliminations. They need to buy time for Muzz to get back into position so they don't have to fight this in a 3v4 fashion. Dragon, on the other hand, they need to push quick. They need to push while they have at least a one-man advantage. Otherwise, they're on their base, and they're waiting for XSET to make a mistake.
Great position from Rituals. Going to use the dynamite here to try and pick off iTroll. He knows he's at that corner, but unfortunately he's going to miss the dynamite. Push up with the pistol, takes out iTroll, and now has to connect the marksman shot. Unable to hit the snipe, though, as Randu is going to pick up Edgy. Muzz is going to be cracked. Ritual's gone down already, and just like that, Dragon have protected their flag once again.
And I think that might have been the farthest the flag has been out almost all game long so far. And Cold going for a second opportunity. Gets the elimination onto iTroll. Gets out the window as well. This is going to be the best opportunity, but the cutoff from Randu is in. Missing a couple of shots, and Cold takes him out. Cold takes him out. The relay is in. He drops it off the Muzz. Can XSET win in overtime?
They felt Cold's aura. They couldn't handle it as Cold continued to bring the flag forwards. iTroll gone down as well. Is it enough time?
A late roster change. Out goes Trashy. In goes Cold. He gets the big elims on the flag. He gets it out of the window, brings it halfway. Muzz is the one who went and got that capture, but the team eliminations were there. 35 eliminations for Cold, putting up a masterclass with his first time in the XSET jersey.
What a way to show off in the first match of the day. It was close in the first couple rounds. Nobody really had a clear advantage, but being able to connect those shots when it mattered the most, Cold was able to bring the flag to his team. Muzz captured it, and just like that, they were able to close it out.
Yeah, and usually I thought it was going to happen a lot quicker. The start of the rounds, round number 1, didn't happen. Half number 2, didn't happen right out of the gates. But you saw XSET, once that overtime hit, they put that pedal to the metal. They got those quick and early eliminations, and they did not look back, knowing that the team would be flustered in an overtime scenario. But it was Cold, the biggest difference maker, not just in overtime, but throughout the course of the match. You see why he was a hot commodity to get picked up when Man City did not make it into the eSports World Cup. XSET was the one with the lucky draw to pick his name out of a hat and sign him to that roster. And you see it even in moments like this to close out the round, he was not denied.
Look, it's what you love to see, but also I want to give props to Dragons. I mean, they played incredibly well, especially going against one of the fan favorites to take home the whole eSport World Cup featuring Fortnite. So I'm excited to see how they continue throughout the rest of the matches, if they're going to be able to close it out. But in terms of eliminations, I think it might have been closer than we expected. The only gap that we kind of saw between XSET was Cold, that had over 30 eliminations, but a lot of the other players, both on Dragons and XSET, were pretty balanced in terms of how many eliminations they actually secured.
Yeah, and you got to give Dragons, again, I'll say it throughout the course of that matchup, you know, a team from Latin America that doesn't necessarily get the elite practice against the EU teams, against the NA teams, so they kind of have to go with what they see, and if they do get practice, there's a huge ping differential. So for them to put up a fight for over 10 straight minutes against XSET, put themselves in great positions to try to capitalize. Unfortunately, they weren't able to, but that is a wake-up call for a team like XSET, and that is going to benefit XSET more than anything so far in this tournament, to say, hey, even the teams we thought we were going to topple over easy are giving us a challenge. We cannot take anyone lightly. We have to make sure to put our best efforts up every single time, and already it's working out for them as soon as overtime hit.
Just shows that it's kind of the moment to lock in. Got a quick look at the scoreboard in terms of eliminations for the Dragon roster. Romero had 20, Lua had 21, iTroll had 9, and Randu had 17. But if you look at XSET, Jacob, Cold with 35 eliminations, Rituals with 21, Muzz with 10, and Edgy with 14. So even if they weren't able to capture that flag, they definitely would have taken it home in terms of eliminations.
Yeah, I think Cold right now is literally almost sporting a 3, maybe even 4-point KDA in this game. 5,800 damage coming out from Cold on his way to 35 eliminations. Kind of relatively even for the roles that they're playing so far for their rosters. Muzz was a little bit of slow to start that game off, but that's saying something in its own right. Even with Muzz having a little bit of a slow start, they were still able to stop everything that was thrown at him from Dragons. Cold was then able to pick up the pace, along with Ritual and Edgy as well. Even Ritual putting up over 5,000 damage for his team. The marksman hitting the shots that mattered, and I think that's going to be a huge defining factor that they can kind of lean on early on in this tournament while the rest of the team picks up the pace.
Yeah, it's what you love to see. Reminder, we did just see capture the flag. The next game mode is Hardpoint, and it ends on Keeper. So we do know that capture the flag. I mean, I asked you earlier, Jacob, I was like, what is the best map, best game mode for XSET? You said Shallot, capture the flag, the 2 combo that we saw to start it off. So seeing how close it was, I don't know what to expect on the next game modes.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be one of those things, but at least we know with Shallot, capture the flag being game number 1, we know either game 4 or 5, if Dragon does force us that far, that we will have a Panther capture the flag, so they can already begin to strategize if they want, but they still have to make it there. coming into this next map, we do have Hardpoint on Panther. So it does look like the beginning of this cycle, the first 3 maps are kind of like business as usual. What you played coming into this, what you have the most practice on so far.
We'll see if the practice has paid off. I remember you were talking about XSET putting in the homework, making sure they were able to kind of study not only their game plans and strategies, but also what their opposing teams are looking for and what they're doing. I wonder how much homework they put into Dragon and how they play out Hardpoint and Keeper. But I guess we'll just have to see.
Yep, so this one kind of opening up. I've seen a few different strategies, but hill number 1 right in the middle. I've seen 2 different things play out. Teams like to just get that early hill time, sacrifice everything, start to on the hill, but they also like to play for that top statue control. You get a little bit of elevation. You get that cross angle, which is just as important as that early time, because then you're able to kind of get it later on in that same hill. And already you've seen Romero, Dragon, slow right out of the gates. They're going for some early eliminations rather than just straight hill time.
Starting off Hardpoint. Let's see if it's as close as capture the flags as Rituals. Nice little head peek angle, looking to see if he can connect the snipe. Push comes up. Randu now as well, looking to see what they can do. XSET are going to be the first ones to start capturing that Hardpoint, but how long can they hold on to it?
Yeah, they're going to get some good early hill time here. Dragon wasn't able to get those early eliminations that they staggered themselves back for. A couple of the players got taken out off spawn, and now they're forced back because the statue control goes over to XSET with 2 quick eliminations just like that. Dragon starting to build some momentum, trying to catch Cold off spawn, but he takes him down. That's a big elim for Cold playing as the Juggernaut, because now it forces everybody to focus on him, allowing the rest of the members of XSET to spawn up and get back into play.
Dragon now with control, 21 to almost 21. Tables are turning here as Dragons continuing to hold on. Cold now pushing up closer and closer. XSET is now going to look for the aggression for the main push to try and retake this hard point. Will it be enough, though, as main players from the Dragon roster are getting cracked? But Romero picks up one. Edgy goes down as well. This could be huge for Dragons.
Yeah, they need to continue this tempo, this momentum, how fast they're actually playing, and keep XSET off both of their feet. They have an early lead for Dragon, already playing for this next hill, but XSET does have a few angles they're trying to use to try to battle off the members of Dragon, but that first defensive stop's going to come through. Even with Muzz getting a singular elimination, that's a little bit of blessing for Dragon, because now they're going to get more utility, but unfortunately, iTroll wasn't able to get the elimination, which opens up this opportunity for XSET.
Cold now on the aggression, takes out one, takes out three as he continues his push. Hardpoint captured. Now all they need to do is hold on. iTroll trying to do what he can, but Cold does not miss a single shot.
Picking up where he left off on that map number 1. Trying to get this hill time here. Get the lead back for Dragons. Just 1 foot in front of the other. You don't have to get the mountain of time all at once, but Dragon's doing a good job of fighting back, but very little time on this hill. That means everybody's going to have to rotate straight on over to the other side of the map. XSET does look like they're going to be the first ones there.
Cold with another elimination, brought up to 8 as he continues to take his shots, but he is going to go down as now Romero is going to continue with the push.
It's going to be their best chance to continue to try to build that momentum up and keep the lead intact. That's going to be the biggest thing for this team.
Rituals now going to throw on the dynamite. There's going to be the aggression from the roster, but they got to be careful. The flank came through. iTroll connecting his shots, is able to pick up 2, but he goes down shortly after. Randu goes down as well, and now XSET once again going to continue with their push and make kind of a comeback in terms of the hard point here. If they're able to hold on, but Lua, is he not going to let that one slide?
Yeah, I think right now Lua is just kind of waiting. He knows there's a little bit of time left on the hill. They know that XSET got that spawn, so he's just trying to catch him on this next rotation. A couple of shots are going to get fired through. Slows XSET down just a little bit, and even with Muzz going down, that's going to be the opportunity. They finally wrap around. They clean up those eliminations they got the early damage on, and giving them a huge start here in the 4th hill.
This is very close, Jacob. I'm impressed by both teams today. XSET, I thought, would almost get a clean sweep onto Dragons, but what we're seeing right now from Dragons is absolutely incredible. Edgy now gonna be on the hard point. Has to be careful as utility has been used. Romero's gonna go down though. Itrol's just a shot away from getting eliminated. And now Randu is gonna be the last one up on Dragons to try and do what he can to get his way towards the hard point. It's gonna look like a regroup has to come through from Dragons here.
Yeah, it's going to be a must. And they got to do it on this next hill. Less than 10 seconds remain on this 5th hill. It's going to go over the other side directly towards their left for XSET. But it does look like Dragon gets that early spawn. So what XSET's going to do, they're going to push up. They're going to clean out the remainder of these Dragon players left around the map. And then use this man advantage to crash onto the hill.
This is huge for XSET if they're able to successfully get this push, but huge utility coming from Dragons, cracking almost the whole XSET roster. Is now HP and shield advantage, I would say, was on Dragons' end, but as quickly as you can flip a coin, Dragons now are in danger as Edgy picks up one more with just 2 HP to spare.
Yeah, and XSET, this has kind of been one of their slower maps throughout their progression to the eSports World Cup. Hardpoint is where they have had a little bit of struggles, but to start this game off, first couple hills were Dragon eSports. Since then, it's been XSET up until this point where Dragon is doing a good job of answering back. We're kind of relatively tied between these two teams, and another great fight being put up for Dragon. With less than 10 seconds remain, these eliminations on rotation are going to be important for XSET to gain this early hill control.
It's incredibly close. As a reminder, it is first to 250 points for the hard point, and it is looking neck to neck right now as XSET picks up one more. Lua is low as the push is going to come through, but Romero doing a great job holding on strong.
Yeah, as the marksman player, he's got to be kind of the defining factor, but he gets taken down just on the edge. Randu's going to fall as well. The rest of the members of XSET pounce. That's going to be 3 straight eliminations for Cold as he starts to spree on this hill. And it's the first hill, the reset hills here. And with 30 seconds left, Dragons has to make the decision. Do I turtle back, play for hill number 2 where we can get most of our time, or do I make one last effort to try to contest this hill?
The crucial decisions that the IGL is going to have to make to lead their team to victory, as Cold is just securing the last points that they can from this hard point before the next one appears. iTroll, though, is going to not let that one slide as Cold gets taken out. iTroll now on the point as he takes out another, but Romero is ahead of the game as now they hold on to the second hard point.
Yeah, even iTroll, he just went down to Cold, but he staggered out Muzz yet again. iTroll's going to get the easy spawn just towards their right. He can be back in the game much quicker, but Randu gets beamed. Shields get dropped. A lot of utility being expended to try to keep him at bay. XSET finally pours into the hill, but Cold gets a trade. He goes down. A lot of it is favoring Dragon, with Ritual being one of the only members alive on this side of the map. Connects with a snipe shot, but I don't think it's going to be enough. 30 seconds left. The rest of the members of XSET, they're trying to do the exact same thing that happened to them. Pour into the hill with the last bit of life they have left.
This is extremely scary for XSET if they're not gonna be able to hold on to the point, but so far they do have the control. Dragons now looking to make another push as it's all up to Muzz and Edgy. Muzz gets cracked. Edgy's cracked as well. Rituals has gone down. This could be enough for Dragons to continue on and claim the point once again.
And that could be a little bit of depending on where Muzz actually gets to spawn towards the bar. Cold just going out wide. Romero's trying to cut him off. He does have reinforcements, but he takes the 1v1 and goes down. Edgy go ahead and gets that elimination. Just trying to reinforce XSET's presence on this side of the map. You see how far they're actually going, flopping the spawn. So XSET will get control here with Dragon having to make a push.
Edgy only one on point now. EMP is coming through every type of utility to try and get him off as iTroll looks for another angle. Edgy finally goes down. Rituals with an insane snipe, though, could be enough to cause XSET to now continue with their aggression, but Randu needs to connect his shots if he wants to hold on.
Yeah, Romero just lands the snipe shot on the Edgy. Doesn't even get him a chance fresh off the respawn. The angles are finally in. Cold, even though he went down, it was a distraction. Allowed for XSET to push up just like this. Contest the last little bit of hill time that is left. In a match that is this close between these two teams, Dragon eSports just needs 28 points to win, and XSET taking a late game lead.
I'm starting to get nervous. First to 250. Both teams incredibly close to taking it home as Rituals now is going to attempt to throw a dynamite, but he's got to be careful. Drop the 36 HP. Randu's fully cracked now as he looks for a right-hand peek angle here. Can it be enough to take out Cold? Gets the crack, but Rituals now with the assist as it's all about stalling. He gets the first elimination, takes out Rituals as well. Randu, are you kidding me?
That would have been the game moment right there for Dragons if they could win both of those eliminations. Edgy trying to make the last stop. Less than 10 seconds left. Randu's going to go down. A late stop from XSET. They need 20 seconds. 20 seconds is all they need, and there's more than that on this hill.
Just 7 more points for Dragons, but XSET are not going to let that one slide. Eliminations from Dragons, eliminations from XSET. This could be the final battle to see who takes it home.
XSET cannot win on this hill, but neither can Dragons at this point. Edgy is already trying to overextend to the next one, but he gets beamed, just a sliver of HP left. He does have reinforcements, but Dragon is quickly attacking onto that hill. Romero instantly goes down. Buzz gets traded out after getting 2, but it's not going to be enough. XSET gets to the hill first, and they steal away that win at the last seconds.
With a 6-point difference, 244 points for Dragons. XSET is going to close it out with just a couple seconds at the end with 250. You can see that it was too close for comfort. You can look at Muzz, look at Edgy, Rituals, Cold. They're happy that they won, but I think they thought it was going to be a lot easier, Jacob.
Yeah, their happiness that they won lasted at all of 2 seconds, because now they're wondering, why are these games that close? The CTF, map number 1, the Hardpoint, where they were down. The majority of this Hardpoint, they were trailing to Dragon eSports, and it took a big comeback, and it was late. It was very, very late in the game. XSET on those last 2 hills, they made perfect rotations. They got the eliminations that matter, and I thought this for Randu was going to be the moment they won, but Muzz and Cold entered into the hill. They contested it the last second, got over for the rotation for XSET as well. Perfectly played at the end.
What a way to close out the hard point. I'm still shaking from that last match, Jacob. Capture the flag, hard point, both incredibly close matches. You can see the devastation from Dragons, but this isn't a moment to put your head down, especially if you're Dragons. You're playing against, I would say, the fan favorite roster going into the eSports World Cup, and the matches being that close just shows that the level Dragons are at.
Yeah, and I want to go ahead and shout out Ramiro one time, the marksman player. He is hitting some shots today. From what we've seen in game 1, capture the flag, bringing that over to game 2 on the hard point. I just want to see him kind of keep that consistency up. It is going to be a newer map, keeper on Taverna, so it is an interesting way it plays. And from what I've seen from XSET, they are very, very good on this map, but already we've been surprised. I wouldn't say we've been upset just yet, but we are so close. We are so close to Dragons upsetting XSET on one of these maps.
Quick reminder on how the keeper game mode works. Basically, it's first to 150 points. The way you get points is you pick up that key that will grant you 1 point per second. So it's all about just keeping hold of that key. If you're the opposing team, then you want to eliminate the player that has that key. And once you have that key, you do get a little speed nerf, so you can't walk as fast. And if there ends up being a big point difference, the team that has significantly lower points will get 2 points per second instead of 1. So it's an interesting game mode to be played out, and I'm curious to see if it's going to be as close to these most recent matches we just saw.
Yeah, and I got to be wondering, like, how is XSET feeling with some of these close matches? Are they still as confident as when they stepped onto that stage to start the day? On the other side, you see there's all smiles. There's all smiles on Dragons. They're probably performing very, very well. Unfortunately, they're just not able to get these wins. But if you're able to kind of shut out the negativity, even in some of these losses, continue to build that confidence, figure out a way to get their momentum on their side. We saw throughout that map, Dragons was leading the majority of the time and was so close to actually picking up that win and getting us to a tie series at 1-1. If they can continue to channel that, I'm excited. I'm just excited. This is only game 1. This is only day 1 of the eSports World Cup featuring Fortnite, and I am excited.
I'm actually, I mean, it's funny to see Dragons almost are smiling more than XSET, and they lost the most recent 2 matches. But taking a look at the scoreboards from the recent match, iTroll was actually the elimination leader with 25 eliminations. Right behind him was Cold with 24 eliminations. So capture the flag, Cold dominated, and now in Hardpoint, iTroll was the leader by 1 elim. The rest of the Dragon roster had 16, 14, and 17, and the rest of the XSET roster was 20 eliminations from Muzz, 18 from Edgy, 14 from Rituals. So it was pretty close this time around. There wasn't a clear kind of elimination gap, and you could tell by how close the match actually was with the Hardpoint.
Yeah, no, and I agree with you, especially, Hardpoint being one of XSET's weaker game modes. Doesn't really matter the map. I expect them to kind of get better on that as the weekend does progress, and they get each and every match underneath their belt. But Dragon, man, I still can't say enough about these guys. If they can pinpoint a spot on this map. There are a few different spots where you can lock down that key, and it just ends up being just a full chaotic battle in order to just slip one player through, let alone the whole team. If they could win a lot of those fights, get Ramiro in a position to hit these marksman sniper shots, I think we're going to see an extended series with them winning this next map.
It's what you love to see. I like these close matches, Jacob. It's exciting to watch the top North American teams go against the top Latin American teams. This is the only place you're going to see it happen. And as quickly as that, Jacob, we're starting out with the third match of the day on Keeper, XSET versus Dragons eSports.
Little key down in the center of the map. Cold is going to get one of the first eliminations of the game along with Edgy. That's allowing XSET to push up. And Cold is just being that distraction, seeing where the shots are coming from. He's going to push forward. Muzz is going to be the first one for XSET in the game to start to gather that time on the clock.
Muzz continuing to hold on strong. Now it's all about his team to help keeping up. But as iTroll gets closer and closer, Romero with the flank. Cold is going to be the one, the protector, the guardian angel for Muzz, as Muzz is eventually, I was going to say goes down, but he does not go down as he continues to hold up this key.
You got Cold, you got Edgy watching different angles, and look at where Muzz is actually bringing it to these narrow corridors, these hallways that have very little passageways to go through, and that's where he's allowing Edgy and Cold to start to feel comfortable. Even Ritual chaining together too. So even though Dragons was able to finally burst through the defense of XSET, it came at a cost, and now they got a chance to finally put some score on the board.
43 is a great hold to start it off for XSET, but now the Dragons roster is grouped up. They've got their defense. The VIP is put on deck, but iTroll is going to go down. This is the danger the Dragons was not looking for. As Muzz picks up another as well. They've only gotten 20 points so far, and it looks like Romero might just be the last one standing, making a run for it.
Yeah, if he's going to go down, he needs to put the key in this part of the map that is easily accessible, but goes down in the hallway, almost giving up a good setup to XSET. This is very similar to where they were getting the majority of that time. As iTroll got brought down to 6 HP, but he's not going to back out of the fight completely. Gets one elimination, but it's instantly answered back by XSET. They're basically saying, hey, anything you could do, I can do better.
As Cold now bumped up to 9 eliminations. This is looking a lot more heavily in the side of XSET compared to Hardpoint and Capture the Flag, but all it takes is one good push from Dragons to make a comeback. And also as a reminder, if there's a big enough of a difference between the points, the losing team will get 2 points per second instead of 1. So there's always that opportunity for a comeback on the Keeper game mode, and Dragons now have picked up the key once more.
It's their chance that they need at least a good 50 seconds here. They don't have to necessarily gain the lead, but XSET is almost more than halfway there from taking this first round. So they need to start building that time on up. And already a lot of these eliminations going in way of XSET. And as we look on, Ritual already has the key back on his back with XSET about to eclipse that 100-point mark.
Shots come through, unable to connect from Dragon, but XSET's already at 105 points, so you know the pressure is going to be on for Dragons. They need to change something up here. They need to make something happen. If they end up losing this match, XSET will take the overall victory, as Cole now continues to try and push up to Lua here. He is incredibly low, grouped up with his partners, but Cold is not going to let that one slide as Rituals continues with the push through. Rituals might just go down here, though. One shot away, the elimination is going to get picked up. Muzz now with the flank as Lua continues to run away.
Yeah, he knows that his teammate's not there to play defense. Instantly falls. Nice utility coming out from Cold, cutting off the other side, allowing for Muzz to get that key in his inventory yet again. You see, has locked himself down in that basement. Very few entrances for Dragons to try to go through, and with 2 more eliminations, they're keeping the numbers in their favor. 20 seconds away from a round 1 victory.
We saw them use this basement before. It's a great place to kind of hide. The issue is, if the full push comes in from Dragons, it might just be enough to take out Muzz, but Muzz is connecting every shot he needs to. He goes down ultimately, though, to Lua, and now Dragon once again have hold of the key, but for how long?
Yeah, they need to chain together a lot of time here. 5 seconds is all that XSET needs, so it's picture perfect is a must from here on out. But already, Edgy just moves in, gets the elim, quickly grabs the key, and he unlocks the door for a victory in round number 1.
XSET gets that 150-point threshold to close it out. You can see not even a single celebration coming from XSET. They know that the job's not done. And these have been some incredibly close matches. To be fair, that was the least close one out of all of them. They were able to hold on strong in the keeper game mode. So we'll see if they can keep it up.
Yeah, hopefully they can make some quick adjustments here for round number 2. They were finally able to get some time, but it just came in small little glimpses of hope coming out from Dragons of what we know they can play like. It's just reaching that full potential on a consistent basis is Edgy. They get 1. Randu goes down as well. XSET already turning the numbers in their favor as the bait and switch comes in for Muzz. With only Edgy fallen, XSET already off to a good start.
Continuing with the shots, it looks like could have a potential repeat in the last keeper round as a snipe comes through from Rituals. Romero taken out. Another snipe being connected. XSET now momentum showing. It looks like they are finally on fire. They finally were able to lock in and show why they're one of the favorite orgs going into the eSports World Cup.
I swear it's been like 5, 6, 7 straight eliminations by XSET as a whole before Romero finally shuts down that momentum. Lua is trying to go in. The bait and switch is out. A cluster towards the backline to get Edgy out of position. That's going to be successful, but a quick reposition out of Ritual. With all those eliminations going their way, it felt comfortable for Cold to spawn up, get in position, and to try to turn the tides back.
Snipes coming through. Romero unable to connect though. Already 52, 53 points just from the first keyhold here on to XSET. This is exactly what they need to close it out.
You can see they instantly push forward. They know exactly where Dragons is at. They push forward. They take the fight to them, which means it's not going to get close to Ritual. And even when it does, he lines up some shots like that.
Whoa.
Quickly shields him, forcing him back. Lua even just dropped down to just a sliver of HP. Multiple players just failing to rise to the occasion. But unfortunately enough, the only elim is going to be on Ritual. So for a quick moment, XSET will not be gaining any time.
Looking to see if an angle can be found. Randu holding on to the key, looking to make the comeback happen. Unfortunately, Cold is not going to let that one slide. 28 eliminations, trying to break his record of the day from Capture the Flag. It was at 35, and it looks like shortly he might be able to pass that.
35, a 24. Cold is just putting up numbers, and you can see why he's a must grab for the XSET roster. Dragon grabbing some time. Bubble shield going down. They're trying to protect themselves, but Muzz goes in, gets the quick elimination. Nice snipe onto Cold, but wasn't able to save his teammate. Now Romero's in trouble. Cold turns, burns, takes him down. The key is back in the inventory of XSET as he's up to 30 eliminations.
Dragons now getting a bit split up here. They're going to have a full regroup as Lua does a great job to take out Cold. Rest of the XSET roster is low, but Lua is waiting for his team to get back and close as Romero hits a huge slide snipe, but Cold is going to finish the job.
Yeah, see, Dragons versus XSET. Dragons is doing a good job of putting up fights in these individual battles, but XSET is trying to make sure they're doing their best that none of these battles are actual individual battles. They always have help around every corner. Ritual knows one side's being watched, quickly turns around, sees the whole army just trying to bull rush him in. He goes down, but the rest of XSET is there to ease the tide and keep the key under their control.
35 for Cold, looking like a stomp currently in this potential last match of keeper, as Muzz now is going to be the one that's picked up the key, kind of trying to play angles here as he has the right hand peek. Gonna take out iTroll, but he is a little low now.
Just having a little fun right now. Just have a little fun. His teammates are doing all the work. There's not much for him to do except to dance, celebrate. I was gonna say it might be a little bit too early, but 5 seconds left on the clock. Nobody from Dragons is even in earshot. Muzz will make sure to reach 150, and with that, XSET will close out the series 3-0.
Great way to finish it off, but you can see, although they did win, in the back of their head, they're kind of thinking, you know, that was quite close. They were expecting a